Super Bowl week. Congrats to the Seahawks and Patriots fans out there. But as a Bears fan, it's hard not to think that the Bears could be in this game this week in Santa Clara. And you know why? If you ask a Bears fan why, they'll tell you straight up. Getting pressure on that quarterback, the defensive line, the edge rushing position. And it's not hard to know that General Manager Ryan Poles knows that as well. He was at the Senior Bowl this week scouting that specific position. And with the 25th pick, could go there, could draft a defensive lineman. But let me give you some possibilities, because we all know what Ryan Poles did last season, going offensive heavy for head coach Ben Johnson, getting weapons for quarterback Caleb Williams, Colston Loveland. You had Roma Dunze in the same draft as Caleb Williams. You got Kyle Monungai to help in the run game. All these weapons. And what it did affect the defense, because with no pass rush, the Bears had to force turnovers. That's exactly what the Bears secondary did. You had all pros and Pro Bowlers in that defensive secondary. Nashawn Wright and Kevin Byard are at the Pro Bowl this week, playing in that game on Tuesday night, that flag football game, representing the Bears because of all the turnovers they had. Kevin Byard led the NFL in turnovers, and Nashawn Wright was second. But the offense showed what they can do. They can compete with any team. We saw that in the 49ers Sunday Night Football game. We saw that in the Rams game, able to make late comebacks, make game shootouts. But if you have a better pass rush, then you're better off. Montez Sweat did a good job this year. You think about good, better, best. He was good, but there's still better and best to go. The defensive line was 25th in the NFL in quarterback pressures. And Sweat did have 11 sacks, but his 49 QB pressures were 15th in the NFL, and he is the 9th highest paid defensive lineman. And so you can't just rely on his numbers. Yeah, and I know there was injuries to defensive linemen all season, Shamar Turner, Dio Adangbo, but you can't just rely on Sweat's production. Can't do it. Poles said after the season in his off-season press conference, or going into off-season press conference, he would be opportunistic. What did he mean by opportunistic? I'm not quite sure if opportunistic means trading for Max Crosby from the Raiders because of what you would have to give up. You might have to give up that 25th pick, some second and third round picks, maybe some more draft capital, and an offensive weapon like DJ Moore, who didn't have a great season but was clutch in the big moments, had some of the best catches of the season and in the franchise's history this year, especially those two Packers games. We all remember what happened there. But you just have to see what happens. Max Crosby, we all know how good he is. Generational player. Having Sweat on one side and Crosby on the other side. Wow, what a combination that would be. And Crosby's already upset with the Raiders for sitting him these last two games of the year. So you never know. He might be open to a new opportunity. Then you can also look at Trey Hendrickson from the Bengals. He restructured his deal so that he could get less money now so he can leave sooner. But the downside with him, he is on the older side. He's 31 years old, but that could be more of a win now option for 2 years while you're still not having to pay Caleb on his rookie deal. So there are some options there. There's Max Crosby, which would take a little bit of draft capital and maybe trading somebody like DJ Moore to get. There's Trey Hendrickson, who's probably the cheaper option while you don't have to pay a lot of money to your big stars right now. And then you have in the draft, but 25th is a little late to find somebody who's a good name out there. Maybe you find a diamond in the rough and that pays off, but you just can't rely on Montez Sweat's situation this year where he plays just good. Just good is not good enough, as we know from Ben Johnson. Ask any Bears fan, and that's what they'll tell you. They'll tell you it was the defensive line and getting pressure on that quarterback for the reason the Bears are not in the situation. The offense is there. We've seen Caleb and his heroics this year. He's a late quarterback. marvels. Marvels. We loved what we saw from Caleb this year, but let's fix this defensive line this offseason. Ryan Poles, let's get some pressure on those quarterbacks and let's get to the Super Bowl next year. Let me know if you agree below. Is this the biggest problem the Bears have this offseason, or are we looking at maybe left tackle? Left tackle was an issue, or interior defensive linemen or in the secondary. There are some players on this team in the secondary who are not going to be here next year, like Jaquan Brisker, Kevin Byard. Let me know below in the comments what you think the biggest Bears problem is, and if you agree with me that this defensive line and this quarterback pressure problem needs to be addressed immediately. I will be making some more Bears content this offseason to bring it to you. So if you like this video, please help me out, like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.